let us take a look here at principals for Cloud IAM. So a principal in Cloud IAM identifies who gets access. And there are many types of principals, and I'll list them all here, but we're not going to look at all of them in detail. We'll look at the most important ones. So we have Google accounts, service accounts, Google groups, Google workspace accounts, cloud identity domains, all authenticated users, all users, one or more federated identities in a workforce identity pool, then for a workload identity pool, then for Google Kubernetes engine pods, resource manager principal sets. Okay, so let's go take a look at the 4 that I'm really interested in. Now, there is Google Groups. I could have included that there, but it's pretty straightforward. It's just a group of accounts, right? So Google accounts, these are individual users with an email associated with Google accounts. And so there on the right-hand side, you can see we have Andrew and my co-founder, Bako. It can be any email. So you enter an email in, and it's pretty straightforward. What you should take note of here, and I mean, I didn't put it here in the docs, but notice here it has like user colon. This is the principal identity. And so when you're programmatically entering this in, or like in a box, you might have to prefix the username with this so that it can identify what kind of principal you're using. So you'll see that when we are in the console or whatever. Then you have service accounts. So a Google service is a Google service instead of an individual user. And so again, its identifier will have a service account in front of it. You're going to give it a name. And notice that the service account can be scoped different ways. This one's, but anyway, this is IAM G service account, okay? And so here are some examples on the right-hand side. So here, notice they all end with G service account, but this one says developer, this one says IAM. Notice here, like I gave them my own names, and they have different permissions here, that there, okay? We have all authenticated users. This is a special identifier that represents all users and service accounts for users that are authenticated. And then you have all users, which is a special identifier for representing anyone from anywhere. These two come into play when you are doing things maybe like with a CDN or a bucket or Google Cloud Run, where you are trying to provide access to users to use, something that's like web appy or website, right? So you'll see those come up there. Let's just make sure we understand how easy it is to create both a Google account and a service account. Every time I've been away from using Google for a little while, Google GCP, I forget this and I get a bit confused, but it is pretty simple. So here we're going to add a new principal. So I put in my other email. That was my old business. I still have the email. So Andrew at monsterboxpro.com. Originally, I made that because I was going to make video games. This is like when I was 20. But then it became my company. And then I obviously changed to Exam Pro, but that email's around. Notice I signed the role as Cloud Run Developer. You can sign whatever you want. When you create Google accounts, you're adding them at the org level. So that's pretty straightforward. For service accounts, you're going to name it. You give it a service account ID. Notice that is adding it to the email here. Okay. And then you are going to apply permissions. So service accounts can optionally provide access to principals, such as other users. Service accounts all allow you to generate keys to allow applications to authenticate using service accounts. You're going to be doing this a lot, unless there's a case where you're just creating a service account for a service to use, right? I think like with Compute Engine or Vertex AI, you will end up doing that, where you never generate keys. It's just you have to create a service account associated with the service in general, so you can say exactly what permissions it's allowed to access. Service accounts are assigned at the project level, not at the org level. So, that's how it is there. And so here you can see I created a key, right? There are two types of key. I think it's like JSON or P11. I can't remember. It's not that important, but it has a creation date, an expiration date. But there you go. Okay.